What's up today? It's just me and Joe here, chopping it up like old times. No guest. We're talking about the latest with us, our latest updates, being in Miami, what's been going on, some of the new things that have come out in the car world lately, and then lastly, the makings of a great podcast, because I think we've got that. So this is Supercar Connection. This is the Supercar Connection podcast, bringing you behind-the-scenes conversations from across the industry. If you love supercars, you're in the right place. So let's hit it.
Do you forget that literally this all spawned from this?
No, I don't forget.
Like it's actually in my mind, it's actually quite fucking crazy. The fact that like literally you and I had the idea, sat down, filmed an episode, and we did that for what? Fucking like 3 months of us just filming episodes, talking about anything that we knew about supercars and experienced.
Literally.
And then just one day we just were like, let's do guests. And then that moment on, it just blew up. Sorry. Damn thing. I can't do that. I'll be doing that all episodes. I don't catch myself.
You will be.
Now.
You're going to be smacking that table. Yeah, dude. Trust me. Like, it's pretty wild.
I think it's ridiculous.
I was kind of excited about doing this though. Just me and you again.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of was too.
It's been too long. And there's so much to catch up on, I feel like.
There's literally a million things.
Like the guests, I love having the guests. We have great conversations. We meet these people.
Absolutely.
It's kind of the coolest part, like getting to meet everyone. But like at the end of the day, we don't get to talk as much. And I started this because I like talking about cars. So, I mean,
I don't know. It's kind of fucked. Cause like anybody who's like, any of you guys have watched like the last couple podcasts and like tune in our stuff, you see like there's a different like balance and flow to like anytime we have a guest on. And I also feel like it also depends on like the guest itself. Cause I was explaining this to somebody else and not a lot of people realize this. And like people always talk about like, oh, like what you do seems like fairly simple. Right.
Yeah.
I don't think, and this is not to like toot Gavin and I's horn. What we do in all reality, by no means is simple, nor is it as easy as we make it seem.
No, definitely not.
I'll expand on that. So the reason I say that, and I feel like a lot of people who are watching don't ever look at this perspective, but like a lot of the guests we have on, obviously it's very dependent on who the guest is, but let's say majority of the guests, 50%, 60, 70% of the guests, we have never met prior to meeting them, right? We might have had some internet conversations or maybe one encounter before. But to meet somebody for the first time, right? Mm-hmm. Having obviously one shared common interest of supercars, but having met someone first time and then sitting down and then to structurally talk about an hour and a half of whatever comes up in conversation, that's not that it's something that it's hard to do, but it takes a certain amount of personality, communication skills, conversational skills to be able to not only make the conversation engaging for the guest, make it so that Gavin and I are interesting enough and know how to drive a conversation. And then C, while doing that, you realize that throughout the time, if you're doing it correctly, your guest gets more and more comfortable talking to you. And the episode gets better as time goes on, solely because the first 10 minutes is literally you guys are seeing the raw. Obviously, we have a little chit chatter and banter, but like, back me up here. When we go talk to guests and we like start setting up, we're like, hey, I'm very interested to talk to you, but right now I don't want to ask you any questions. Right. I want to save it for the raw podcast.
Exactly. It's hard to have a whole conversation, hear a story, tell the story, whatever, and then all of a sudden you're sitting down. You're like, can you tell that story again?
Right.
For
exactly.
Us?
It's like the first raw. It's like you can never tell the story the first raw way.
Right. We roll in, we get to know these guys for a minute, we kind of chat it up, just kind of see what it's like, see what it's going to be like, and then sit down and rip it.
Casa Navarre, baby.
You can answer it?
Huh?
You can answer it?
Can I answer live?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yo, you got 10? On Saturday, you're pulling up in the morning, no? You're 100%. You're 100% pulling up. All right, bet. I got some shit for you. But yeah, we'll talk on Saturday. I just want to make sure. That's all. All right, Cosmo. I'll talk to you later. Hey, River. All right, sorry.
The podcast, as far as the guests go, it's a great time. It's a great time. We meet a lot of good people.
With one shared interest of supercars.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
Or mainly most.
The thing about you meet someone, you start talking about cars, you both like cars, you can sit there, it's easy.
That's very true.
I mean, maybe not for everyone, but it's easy. And we've had quite a bit of practice at this point.
a good amount of fucking practice. I think the biggest thing is just gauging somebody's like personality and like the way that they react to conversation.
Yeah.
Because there's people that you would think out there, and by no means am I talking about anybody, but like there's certain guests that you might see them socially or on their social medias that they might seem like a very outgoing person. Then you start talking to them and you realize that like their conversational skills might not be the best. So like you have to learn how to like you ask something or you say something, they give you their direct response, and then you have to understand how to like continuously pull conversation from people. Because not everybody is like, even take like you and I, for example. Like you and I are similar in a lot of ways, but even like in conversation, you and I are different. I'm very loud. I like to speak and just continue to roll my shit.
Yeah.
And you're very like boom, boom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm trying to talk more. I'm going to talk more.
Start rambling more.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
Fucking just say some bullshit.
You guys want to know what I think, right? So
supposedly.
here's the other thing. You got, if there's some guests that you want to see on here, especially if you know they're in Southern California, like we are lining up more guests. We're figuring it out. So shoot us ideas. If you know somebody, hook us up.
Yeah.
That's
We're always open to suggestions.
Yeah. DM us questions. Happy to answer anything. Just add in conversation. We're just, again, like we started this because we just like talking about cars. But at the end of the day, like we did it because we're like, hey, let's throw it on the internet and see if anyone cares. So at the end of the day, the end product is for anyone listening. So
literally you guys. Like, yeah. That is the end product.
Right. I also really enjoy it. So it's for me too. I think Joe feels the same way. But if there's something you want to hear about, you want to hear our thoughts on it for whatever reason, we'll talk about it, baby.
Yep. Let's do it. Well, it's fucking first time you and I back in a little bit.
It's been a minute.
It has been
a lot of things have changed. Why don't we just start there? Like you have, the last time it was just me and you didn't have a 720.
No.
You have a 720 now. Everyone knows that. We've talked about it, but like
we've thrown it on the internet enough.
It's not like we go in with, we don't sit down with guests and they're like, oh, you got the 720. How do you feel about it? Have you enjoyed it?
No,
like,
it's true.
They don't care. They're there to talk. They're there to talk about whatever they got going, which is why we're talking to them in the first place. So I don't knock them, but you've had this 720. How long now? 6 weeks? Longer?
Crap. No. And now it's been 2 months. It's been a clear 2 months now.
That's wild. That doesn't feel like that long ago.
It doesn't feel like that long ago either. Trust me. It literally feels like yesterday still, which I think it blows my mind to this day.
So what's it been like owning that car?
Fuck, let me tell you, that car has been probably the ultimate experience I've had in my entire life. Like overall experience, like continuous experience. It is like from a perspective of the car. Okay. No other benefits besides just the driving the car itself.
Bro, I gotta be honest with you. It like makes me jealous.
First off, your time is coming. You're going to get
one. No. I know. It's just like, bro, that's just so crazy. It's so crazy that you're driving a 720 around. Like anytime you want, you just go down the garage and press start and go. That's wild,
bro. But it's like, it's one of those things too, where like in my mind, I go in between the two. Half of the time it's wild. And then half of the time it's like, no. Like I know why this is a reality.
Sure.
Like even take like, you know me, like we've been fucking friends for literally like 9 years now at this point. Like when I was coming up, you saw every single point and remember what I was like at every point. I was like, fuck man, like I just bought the Corvette. Like I got that. I remember when I bought the Corvette, my monthly payment, first off, I had to fork up a lot of money to get the Corvette because like part of the thing is too, everybody has different goals. Everyone tries to structure the things differently. Automotive loans, and maybe I'm wrong about this, when you're young, starting out, it's not bad to get a couple loans and then pay them off at a younger age because it helps build some type of credit history where normally when you're in your 18, 19, 20-year-old stages, you might not have like credit history or anything. So I think the Corvette was now fucking like 2 years ago. And now at that time I was like 20, I had just turned 24 and I had semi decent credit, but prior I had the only other loan I had was for a GMC Yukon and the loan was only like 15 grand on it because I put like damn near half down to get that car.
Yeah.
So when I got rid of that, I only had a $15,000 loan structuring, but then I was working my way up and I was like, okay, well, I don't want to lease anything. I want to be able to control the car and be able to, make moves with it and modify it and do all kinds of crazy shit like an idiot that I was. So when I bought the Corvette, I remember I bought it for, I think it was MSRP on that car was 85,000. And I want to say I paid 90 because at the time they were still going over sticker.
Yeah.
And I wanted what I wanted. Right. I put like 40 bands down to get that car.
It's crazy.
To get a Corvette. Bro.
Yeah.
The payment was $700 a month, which if you look back on it, it's like like, again, just everybody teach their own. I was like, fuck, $700 a month. I was like, how am I going to come up with $700 a month and type shit? And I was freaking out about it. And then I went from that to the Ferrari. And that at that point, that's when I felt like time and reality just didn't exist. Like everything was fake at that point. Because I was like, I can't believe now I'm in a 458. And I remember when you drove it and like we were momming around with it, you even told me, you're like, is this really just reality now? Like when you and I go do things, we're like, let's go in the Ferrari.
Right. I just, we were going somewhere. You came over, I hopped in the Ferrari, we went, and I just had a moment. I was like, this is just what we're doing. Like how long ago? 2 weeks ago, I'd never even been in a Ferrari. Maybe sat in one, but never like driven in a Ferrari. And now that's just life now. You pull up, I hop in, we go somewhere. Like that was a crazy realization.
That like switch, and I think that's kind of when like it clicked in my brain that like literally it's all in the mindset. And like as soon as you're like, okay, no, this is my normal reality, then the shit starts to become not expected, but it just comes and facilitates itself almost like I believe in manifestation. I'm one of those people, but like that becomes a part of your reality. So then not shortly after that, making enough moves and understand, like now the financial part comes into it, where now with the connections of Ferrari put me in places where I met some of the other guys, even our guests, stuff like that. You realize like how they spend their money, how they structure making money, and how they work everything together. And I was kind of in a position where I was like, no, I'm like right in the same room with these guys. But then you think about spending like $250,000 on a car, you're like, how the fuck? You know what I mean? Like it's insanity.
Yeah.
So the loan I got on the Corvette was like, I think a little like 40, 45 G's or maybe 50. I can't remember exactly because I don't know if I put 40 or 30 down. Like
what you were saying about that earlier, getting car loans like when you're young. I had a job, had an income for 2 years coming out of college and applied for a $30,000 loan for a car and got denied by like 3 places because I didn't have any loan history.
Nothing.
And they're just like, nope, won't give you that.
No steady income.
I'm like, 30 grand? You kidding me? I've got a steady income. I've got money. I've got like that's the sort of thing you run into. So it kind of blows me away. You get these super young people with the crazy cars. They are putting so much down.
People don't realize that.
In order to get those loans. Like they're not doing 10% down on a Huracan.
Nope.
If you're 22.
Fuck no, you're not.
They're putting 100 down.
Well, I think lease structuring, maybe it's a little bit easier because at the end of the day, like the dealer wants to lease you the car because they win a lot on those type of things.
Lease structure is different, and they're usually like leasing those cars isn't usually through the dealer.
You just do like a broker or something like that.
Yeah, there's lease companies, but I think they still have like, I don't know, maybe I'm lying because that history, can be some history stuff too. But I know McLaren leases. Man, we've talked about this before. I saw someone post an Artura lease. I want to say
they're wild. And I'm a McLaren boy. Like I don't.
And they said probably the most aggressive exotic lease on the market. And I did the math, and I was like, "That's aggressive."
How bad was it?
Ballparking here. I want to say 140 grand over 3 years.
Really?
Gone.
Just
gone. For what? 10,000 miles over 3 years?
Yeah, probably. And to be honest with you, there's a chance that it would probably not even 10,000 miles.
Yeah.
That's the whole scary part.
Right.
I would be
2,000 miles a year. So you're maybe 6K for 130 grand. The only way someone's doing that is if they cannot get approved for anything.
For shit.
It's the only way.
That's
or they're just so stupid rich they don't care.
It's kind of what it is, to be honest.
But even some of those, like if you're that stupid rich, surely you're smarter than to throw away that much money on an Artura lease.
Honestly, I think both. Okay, well, yes, what you just said, but I also think there's the other side of the coin too. Like you'd be surprised how many people really don't give a shit.
But I want to know who's renting Arturas, who's renting McLarens. I want to know, or not renting. Who is leasing McLarens? That's what I want to know. I want to see these people, see what they do, see what they look like. Like, I just want to know the person that's throwing away 150 grand on a lease. And there's going to be a bunch of people in the comments talking about like, oh, when you have that much money, here's the like. Let me let some people in on this. This little. We've met a lot of people with supercars, have we not? We've sat down and talked to a lot of people with supercars. There was a point in time, and it kind of used to be like this. It used to be you only bought a supercar if you really had it, because Banks weren't really loaning money for supercars like that. Like it was a whole different world. So you had to be stupid rich to own a supercar back in the day. We're talking 20 years ago. So there's that mindset that these guys that can own these cars, like if you can't own it cash, then you're not buying the supercar.
Right.
Today, that is not the case. There are dudes making $20,000 a month, which is a lot of money. That's good money. I'd be happy with that. I could live on that. But they're making $20,000 a month, and they're spending 15% on their car loan.
Yeah.
On their Urus, on their Huracan, whatever.
More like the Huracan.
So you looking at these guys being like, if they can afford it, they don't care. I'm telling you that ain't the case.
No, not at all.
Not every time.
I know people that are spending 40, 50% of their monthly income on a supercar.
Doesn't surprise me.
So literally, like, there's no bounds to it.
Just come to LA, walk into any any decent apartment complex, and you will see Lambos, Ferraris, Rolls Royces.
That's one thing I haven't even broken down, like the financial structuring of the McLaren too. I've had some people ask me about it, but I haven't even fucking broken it down.
Do you want to break it down?
I don't mind breaking it down. Yeah, I'll break it down.
Go ahead.
So when I bought the McLaren, it was from at O'Gara, Beverly Hills. So the McLaren dealership in Beverly Hills. Okay. Fantastic people. Shout out to Bo and Vlad. They're awesome. They had the car listed. I want to say the car was listed at like 264 or 262 or something like that, right in that range.
260 something.
260 something. I just don't remember exactly what it is. And people are like, how do you not remember? I'm like, because it's at the end of the day, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. You're talking about that kind of car. I don't fucking remember what it was listed at.
Yeah.
2020 Papaya Spark performance, and it had 11,500 miles, right around that range, right? And it was the only Papaya Spark in like a give or take, let's say 200-300 mile radius, right? And when I went in, and I was actually working on another deal with a dealership up in NorCal, and they were actually very like willing to make a deal. They actually knew our brand and they had watched our stuff, so they were very inclined to make a deal. And that's honestly one of the cars at the time that I thought I wanted more, because but I would have to get the transport going and everything in between. I was like, I haven't seen the car, whatever. I'm at that point still where I still kind of like to look at what I'm going to get type thing. Like I know there's people that just buy shit sight unseen. I'm just not there yet in terms of whatever, because it's my fucking car. Like I like to see what I'm getting into. And again, a lot of the times too, I know it's kind of sad to say this, but like dealerships and people out there, like not everyone's the most fucking trustful and like amazing person ever. So like when you go through a certain amount of life experience, you tend to give less people the benefit of the doubt solely based on experience. So I'm still one of those people that likes to a little bit, right? So I went to McLaren, and obviously when I went in there, I'm dealing with McLaren dealership. I know that like the reputation that McLaren has, brand specifically, they're a little bit more like procedural, kind of like Ferrari and stuff like that. Anytime you buy a supercar, you go into those dealerships are very like that. So for me, buying that car was the first time I had ever really bought a car from that scale of a dealership, because the Ferrari deal was a private sale. So like I was just dealing with another person. Yeah. But going into a dealership, you know what I mean? You're a 25-year-old kid walking in there, no matter, I don't give a fuck who you are. It's not that it's intimidating, but you're still kind of like, how is this all going to go down?
It's McLaren dealer.
It's McLaren dealer. Like, yeah, in Beverly Hills. You know what I mean? Like,
guys wearing slim Lululemon pants, ABC pants, a nice McLaren polo, and some Kohans.
Exactly to a T.
All of them.
All of them.
Yeah.
All of them are 6'2", 175 pounds, soaking wet. Like, they just look like they play polo on the weekends, right?
Yeah.
Shout out, Bo. So when I went in there, I was like, all right, let me look at the car. Obviously, I go to the lot. The car's out front. I start looking at it. They come up, do the traditional talk. Hey, how you doing? And I'm trying to present it into the well, because remember, we talked about this before. You'd never want to go into a dealership because the understanding that they have is you are there for their product. So they automatically have leverage. So you have to be able to walk away, give stuff up, X, Y, and Z. Yeah. So I told them straight up, I'm like, listen, bro, this is who I am. This is what I want. I go, I don't want to play a game with you. I'm not going to sit here for 6 hours. I go, this is the deal. So I told them what I wanted. And at the time, what I wanted was I wanted the car out the door for $240, right? And a lot of people were like, what? That's like a 25. I'm like, if you do the math, it's like, at the time I did the math, it was like a 7% discount or 6% discount, whatever it was. If you really base off the numbers, what it was, or maybe like a 10% discount. I forgot what it was.
It's like 11
or some shit like that, right? I was like, they can fucking do that discount. I was like, no problem. So then immediately he was like, so we can do like 256 and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, you guys don't want to make a deal. So I left. Dunzo left, right? Started working back on the NorCal thing, right? A couple of days goes by. I get a text from one of the boys. It's like, hey man, like, come back in. Like, we'd like to work out a deal. When they send you that text, it's over. Like, you have the game on lock. Because, okay, They want you to make a deal. They just have to get over their initial hardball. And again, it also depends how much demand's on the car, whatever. I go back in, right? Pull up, start talking to them again. And they're a lot more compliant to make a deal, right? So they end up giving me what I want, right? $240 out the door. And now at the time, I was also trying to get qualified for the loan on the car too. Because I was like, I'm not buying this car all cash. Again, I did that with the Ferrari. And I was like, now the Ferrari's gone. I'm not able to use that money to make more money. So I was like, I'm not dumping anything in there. Let me leverage this, right? Mm-hmm. At the time, my highest approval, like I said, I got like a $40,000 loan on the C8 or a $50,000 loan on the C8. So I was like, all right, let me see how much I can get, right? So there's a credit union called Schools First, which I don't know if anybody's heard about it or what you're familiar with, but it's like, I think it's anybody in like the school unified system. I don't know if it's LA or like nationwide, but they qualify, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking about it and I forgot. I was like, my mom is like, she works in the school district. I was like, let me see if I can get in. I applied, I got in. So I was like, bet. Now I'm with the credit union. They're going to give me somewhat better rates, whatever, right? I put exactly how much I wanted, right? And I went for it all. I was like, I want 180,000. And I told them what the car, I think I had to fill what the car was, how much I wanted. And that was it. I was like, I want 180 grand. Boom. They come back and they're like, we can't do 180. And so when I read that initial, sorry, we can't, I was like, fuck. I was like, they're not going to approve me for shit. I was like, I'm stroking myself thinking that I'm going to get this freaking McLaren. They come back with, they're like, oh, we can do 140. And I was like, holy crap. And they all settled in. I was like, they're really going to give me 140 G's. And that was, I made 100 grand leap on the loan history and was like, at that moment when I got approved, I was like, fuck, this is a real deal. Got the 240 out the door, got the loan approval, went there, bought the car. And I remember leaving and I remember going up to the finance manager's office and like she was handing me all the paperwork. And I remember, I think you even pulled up and you were sitting there with me, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was literally just signing everything. And I was like, I don't care. I was like, I just want the car. I hadn't even gotten my monthly payment squared away with Schools First when I took the car. They hadn't told me exactly what it was going to be.
Who cares?
At that point, I was like, I don't give a shit. I was
Who
like,
cares?
I know what I can do. And I was like, I know what it's going to be based on what the interest rate they gave me. And I didn't even get that good of an interest rate. I think my shit was only like mid 6s or low 7s.
Good for today.
Right?
Good for today.
So I was like, fuck it. Took the car. I remember driving it like 2-3 days and like just best experience ever. And then I get hit with the bill. So this is the financial structure breakdown. So I got it for $240 out the door. Like I said, okay. My car payment is $2,200 a month. My insurance is maybe like $400 a month. And gas is fucking ridiculous in that car. I fill up my tank. And again, I probably drive the car more than I should. I'm on that like Cosm train where I'm literally just whipping the fuck out of it. Mm-hmm. So I've already put in the 2 months, I put 4,000 miles in the 2 months. So
you're whipping.
I'm whipping the hell out of that thing. And especially on a McLaren too, which is fucking, it's just crazy. So gas, I fill up every like 2 days. So I think my tank costs like $70-$80 to fill up, $80 to fill up. So every 2 days, so I'm literally filling up 4 times a week. So that's what? That's literally $320 a month. So I would say average, it cost me about, like $3,500 a month for the McLaren. You count everything in. Yeah. Gas, insurance, the payment, everything. So now I'm sitting here at $3,500 a month that I'm like, that's the nut that I have to crack type thing when it comes to the car.
But also just think about that. $3,500 a month. There's a lot of people that can make that happen. Back to my point earlier. Like, that's a lot of money. That's more than most people's rent.
Yeah, exactly. Whoever you are.
But if you make $20,000 a month and want to just live in an apartment, you can swing $3,500 a month.
Which most people want to.
Yeah, you can swing it.
Very much so. Because it's this internet. I'm telling you, it's this internet money crowd that like this younger people. Because like we have a lot of buddies that like not that they don't want a house, but like for them they're like they don't see the value in having a home right now because they're not thinking of like long-term equity gain or anything like that. Nothing that deep. They're just like, we're making good money now. They want to live in a penthouse. They want to live in a nice complex with security and a lot of stuff automated for you. When you have a house, even if it's a nice crib and you're making money, house has upkeep, which is a lot of shit that people don't talk to you about.
A lot of upkeep
in having your own home.
Paying for the lawn, paying for the pool, maybe.
Exactly. Especially if you're balling and you're making a decent amount of money, you know, you can afford $5,000 a month mortgage or whatever.
AC goes out.
Yep. It's all on you. You know what I mean? And everything in between. Now, granted, there's also a lot of
trees trimmed,
all the bullshit, the whole nine.
One of my friends was like, we got a quote to get our like backyard trees trimmed, and it was $7,000.
Think about that.
So, yeah.
Anything breaks in the house, You gonna put a service request in? No, like that's on your ass. Go fix it.
Plus, it's your house. So at that point, you're like, man, I really want to upgrade this bathroom. You know, when you're in an apartment, who cares? Like the bathroom, you don't love the bathroom. You don't even think about it. Nope. You don't go, man, I wish I could upgrade this bathroom, because it's like, it's not even something that crosses your mind. When you can, and all of a sudden you're like, man, you bring someone in, 15 grand to redo the bathroom. Yeah.
Those thoughts cross your mind, and you're like, well, not only becomes a possibility, but you're like, this is a shit that I have to worry about. So then like we're going back and forth, like,
and then you're talking about out here.
Yeah, it's different.
It's an easy, like $8,000 a month minimum to be in a house.
Yeah, depending on where you're at. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's expensive shit.
If you're in anywhere that's worth living out here, and you're in a house that's worth living in.
Yep.
No hate. No hate. But just realistically, like it's $1 million for a 1,200 square foot, like 2-bed, needs to be remodeled home.
Yeah, it's actually ridiculous. Here in where we're at right now.
Where we're at right now, specifically.
Correct.
But anywhere I would want to live out here
is about the same.
Is going to be the same or more. Exactly. If I'm not living in those areas, I'm not living here. The benefits are gone.
That's just honestly, that just attests more to the scale of like what you're talking about. Like 20 grand a month is solid good money, but it's only solid good money if like you want to live a certain way or live somewhere specifically. Mm-hmm. Like, I think that's one of the things people don't realize. And I think a lot of people talk about like LA has a shit ton of money, which it does. But like you have people that really are making an insane amount of money, because to live here, I don't think people really understand like how fucking expensive it is.
It's so expensive.
It's fucking so expensive. It really is.
It's crazy.
It's really stacked up. And I think too, people can portray a show very easily here. So when you see somebody that's concrete with what they're doing, you're like, oh no, that fucker's really doing it.
Let me just put it like this. If I made what I make right now, there are other places in the United States I could own a home and an R8. No problem. And I rent and can't afford an R8.
Literally.
So that's my choice. That is what it is. I'm here. We're around car people. Like, I couldn't do this in Dallas.
Correct.
We'd run out of guests in 5 minutes.
Yep.
So
after econ, what would you do?
Right. I know like 3 other people out there, if we're ever back in Dallas, that we're going to hit up. But like LA is the place, and I love it here. Like, I was just thinking about this. I was just driving. Here's another rant for you. LA rant. If you don't live here, a lot of people are like, how do you live out there? You know, California, or you got no idea. First of all, if politics are affecting your day-to-day life, you're thinking about politics too much.
Very much so.
So yes, you're going to pay taxes no matter what. You may pay slightly more. You may pay slightly less.
Smart, you won't pay anything.
My income tax is not much different than what my property tax would be in Texas. We did the math one day on like what property tax on a home would be if we lived in Texas. Not like pretty much the same to what I pay in income tax. So it's kind of a wash. Sure, you're building equity, but that's a whole different story too. It's not like you're building that much equity, most likely. But California, I'm driving back from Scottsdale, bachelor party. And so now I'm going through the desert. And I'm like, I haven't really been out in the desert very much here. But it's just kind of like this thought just hit me. Like, we were 2 hours and you're in desert. Like cool desert, you know, like Palm Springs, like sitting in the pool, sipping. You got the mountains, you got Joshua Tree, like
the desert.
Yeah. Joshua Tree is like one of the most beautiful national parks in the country. Yeah. People love Joshua Tree, especially for a desert national park. And that's a little over 2 hours away. I'm talking about from LA.
Yeah.
2 hours away, you're in the mountains. You can snowboard. You can go up in the summer. You're staying in a little cabin in the trees. It's cool. You got a lake up there, a mountain lake, like 2 hours away. Drive the other way. You've got like rolling hills. It looks like Italian countryside. There's vineyards. You can go do wine tastings. We've driven up, day trip, hit 2 vineyards, came back. It's an hour and a half away to the vineyards from here. So
Santa Barbara area-esque?
Yeah, Santa Barbara area. Not to mention Santa Barbara, which is like a beautiful beach city that's very different than Orange County or LA. Like, it's its own. Again, you got Santa Barbara is a certain type of beach city.
Yes.
Malibu is a certain type of beach city. The LA beaches are a certain type of beach city. Orange County, whole different type of beach city. San Diego, whole different type of beach city. As you go down the coast, every vibe changes.
And it changes tremendously.
It does.
Not like, okay, a little. No. Like they're different fucking vibes.
Laguna beaches are gorgeous. So already we got desert, we got mountains, we got beaches, we got vineyards, rolling hills. Like there's no other place like it.
Literally. And then if you want to see even crazier scenery, you just go to downtown and look at how fantastic downtown is. Like you literally have everything.
Yeah.
You can see a war zone or you can see the prettiest thing you've ever seen in your entire life.
Exactly.
And it has every scale to degree.
So if you're not taking advantage of it, you're not taking advantage of it. That's your problem.
Very
But
much so.
like I take advantage of it. I go to all these places. I love it here. It's amazing. But where were we car wise? The 720's been crazy.
720 has been wild.
Here's the other thing about the 720 too. I was sitting in it with you and I was looking around. I think you actually got out. You were running a little errand and I was just sitting in the car looking around. And what's crazy is the step up, maybe monetarily, is not that crazy from the 458, but just how quality it feels and how nice it feels. Because the 458 now is a
15-year-old car.
just about 15-year-old car.
Yeah.
So there's no, unless someone just shoves it into a shipping container for 15 years, like it's a 15-year-old car. And you can see that, even though it's a Ferrari. It's nice.
Yeah.
Still 15-year-old car. The McLaren, like the Alcantara is perfect. Like it's all like everything's like it just looks,
Carbon fiber on the seals are all perfect.
it looks perfect.
It's crazy.
And it feels incredible. And I was looking around there, I was like, man, this is another level.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And then how stupid fast is it?
It's fucking ridiculous.
How stupid fast is that car?
See, like this is a whole other topic about the car. Okay, fuck what the car does for you. Like fuck the presence, all that shit. The 720 is the supercar owner's supercar killer. Okay, listen to what I just said. Okay, supercar owner's supercar killer. You drive a 720, the fucking thing. You want me to stop or keep on? The 720. Whenever you drive the 720, you realize that, and it's insane, it literally kills every other car for you because the car is insanely fast. Okay, people forget a lot of things. That car is just north of 3,000 pounds. Okay, carbon tub, and it has 720 horsepower. Okay, you combine those two things, it has insane speeds. Okay, then the handling on that car. Okay, the handling is probably one of the best handlings I've ever felt in my entire life. Fuck a Porsche. Okay, that thing can fucking handle. Okay, then on top of that, what really gets you is how fast it accelerates from, I would say, like 40 to like 120. That gap,
stupid.
It's absolutely unreal. So then you drive that, and then on top of that, the visibility in the 720S is ridiculous. It's a lot of windows. So when you're driving it, it looks small and like a little tub, like a little UFO. But inside, you're looking around. Like I really feel like I got floor to ceiling windows. Like it's
the back pillar that's usually your big blind spot in a supercar because you see nothing. Like it's a fat, like that C pillar or whatever you call back there, is glass in the 720.
Literally all.
So in most supercars where you turn around and all you see is just a wall over your shoulder, and it's just like, well, I'm gonna change lanes and hope for the best.
Not on this thing.
The 720, it's 360-degree vision.
It's ridiculous.
It really is. It's definitely the best visibility of supercar that you can buy.
It's stupid. Then on top of all that, doors go up. Like that.
Doors go up. We love doors that go up.
And there's a specific reason why everyone's like, oh, why not a Spider? Why didn't you get a Spider? Do you want to get top down? Fuck the Spider. Okay. I wanted the coupe because the doors on the coupe are different from the doors on the Spider, and the doors on the coupe are literally the most unique doors I think out on a car right now. The top pillar or the top hinge to the door is on the roof. Yeah. So the door actually opens vertically and upwards, versus on the Spider, it's only hinge, or I think the two hinges are on the actual front part of the back part of the fender. So the door just comes vertical like this. This kind of like so up and vertical.
They open the same angle.
No, they don't.
They open the same way. It's just that the Spider door doesn't have the roof piece.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. So it opens up like this.
Big ass difference.
It does. It definitely looks different because the roof piece comes up with the doors. So there's like that coverage, but then like the Spider doesn't have that. So the doors, if you look at the actual the side panel of the door, and you overlapped them, they would be they open in the exact same spot. It's just this is naked on top because there's no roof there, because there's no roof attached to the door. And these doors open up like this. So it's almost, you got the whole scoop.
I'm going full autism right now.
Yeah.
Okay. I think you're wrong.
Okay. We'll check it out.
I swear to you, because I've seen the spider doors open, and I don't think they open the same.
Here's the thing. I'm just so rarely wrong. So it's a bad bet to place.
This fucking kid did not just say he's so rarely wrong.
Am I wrong?
In this situation, you're fucking wrong.
Am I wrong about being rarely wrong?
I think rarely is aggressive. I think you're more often correct than not correct.
I'm rarely wrong. Here's the thing. I just don't correct people because I had to stop being that guy. I was the like, actually, and I was just like, no one likes that guy.
Yeah. No,
you know how many times I just sit there and hear wrong stuff and I just smile and nod, say nothing.
It's also fuck everybody. It's like,
yeah, it doesn't really matter. That's the other thing. I was like, this doesn't add or change anything.
Nope.
Nothing. Doesn't matter. The only thing that's going to happen is maybe they're going to like me a little less. So
yeah,
why even do it? They're not going to be like, oh, thanks for correcting me.
Yeah, I want to hang out with Gavin again.
So that's a no for you guys. It's tough. It's tough being smart.
But yeah, regardless, 720S has been stupid, ridiculous.
That car is so fast.
That car is so fast, man. That car is so fast.
I'll say from my point of view, it's so stupid fast. And when you hear people call fast cars slow, it's because they've been in something like a 720. Like there are different, like even in the high levels, there are different levels to those levels. So you get to the point where, oh, it's like, oh, it does 2.9 and this does 2.9. It's like, that's to 60. That's off the line. It's when you go past 60, does it pull even harder or does it start falling off? The 720 pulls even harder. The speed in which you are at 120, 140 is an absolute joke. It's an absolute joke. So when people call something like the GT3 or GT3 RS slow, that's what they're talking about. If you did a highway pool, I know the highway heroes, but I'm a highway hero. I don't really care. I street drive. One day, maybe I'll love going to the track when I can afford it. Right now, I'm just trying to get a car for the street. So it is what it is. I don't need a GT3 for the street. And I still get a thrill out of mashing it and going straight quickly.
Same.
I enjoy that. And everyone does. Stop lying to yourself. So that car, you do a highway pool with a 720 and a GT3, it's not even going to be close.
Nowhere near.
Like the GT3 does not have that top end power or torque or anything that the 720 does. The 720 will just take off.
It's stupid. I've literally the Desert Rally run, I literally did 2 GT3s, a GT2 RS, a Turbo S, walked them all. And I think this goes back to what I was saying. And I really want, this is a real thing. I want people to really give me a good answer for this. Okay. Name another car. Okay. Non-McLaren brand, faster than the 720, under $1 million.
Not on the track.
Not on the track. Thank you. Not on the track. Not on the Nuremberg. So please. That is a real question.
Uncle Hank.
Yeah. Can you even give me that answer?
That's faster? No.
A non-McLaren car, faster than 720, straight line, like a pull. Let's say we're going to do it. Let's do it. Okay, let me rephrase it. Okay. Doing a 60 roll. Okay. Name a car that will beat a McLaren 720S from a 60 roll that's non-McLaren brand under $1 million.
It's not going to happen.
Please.
It's not going to happen.
I'm telling you, and I hope somebody can answer this correctly. I don't think there is a car.
No.
SVJ.
A Turbo S might get you will probably get you to 60, but a highway pool,
it's over. So I'm telling you, what's special about the 720S?
SVJ, no.
SVJ, absolutely not. Any Aventador, walking it. Any Lambo, walking it.
Oh yeah.
Any Ferrari, walking it. Maybe the SF90.
Maybe the SF90.
The SF90 might be one of the only ones. It's actually one of the cars I have yet to test that against.
Probably the SF90.
It's probably the SF90. But if it can even hold traction at that time.
Because everyone says that car, everyone says that car is ridiculous. But people that have driven everything.
That car can't hold traction. It's
so much power.
It's too much. The hybrid, it's like the way they did it is like almost overkill.
Mm-hmm.
Where I would bet that depending on the roll, if I hook and he doesn't, I'm gonzo. So let's say SF90, okay? Any other thing, I'm trying to think of any other brand, anything in between. What makes the 720S so special, and if you've driven a 720 or you ever get the opportunity to, this is the way you need to drive it, is mid-boost third gear is the craziest feeling ever, okay? And I don't mean by mid-boost, the people are going to try to correct me on that. I don't mean mid-boost by like fucking mid-turbo spool. I'm talking about 3,000, 3,500 RPMs and up as you're going through third gear, when the turbos kick in and it pulls you and you go fourth and even fifth, that speed, you get to 150 so fast. And it's so quiet in the car because the exhaust is quiet. It's so smooth in the handling.
We're going to change, right?
Yeah, we're going to fucking get that thing loud. Then this handling is so clean and smooth that you literally don't feel like you're going at 150 miles an hour.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
It's so fast.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Well, just say that car's amazing. I love that car. I can't wait to go just riding it this weekend. I look for it. It's been a long time since I was in the 720, and I'm excited about it. So I want to go into a couple specific topics I want to make sure we cover. We're going to talk about some of the recent, because there's a lot of recent stuff has kind of been revealed.
Yeah.
And I want to get our thoughts on that. Or your thoughts, my thoughts, all the thoughts. Before that, if you haven't been paying attention, I'll give my update, because for the longest time, don't worry about him.
I'm
not. Harley's chilling. Harley's over there making a who knows what. So I'll give you my update, because for a long time it was like, oh, I'm trying to get an R8 next, and I'm selling the 4C and maybe a 12C and blah, 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 blah. That was the plan. It really was the plan up until like a week before, probably days before the 4C got picked up.
Yeah.
Because guy bought the 4C from out of state, and I was like, cool, I'm taking this cash because the 4C was paid off. I'm taking this cash, rolling it into an R8, and we're going for it. And he bought it from out of state and couldn't come pick it up for like 3 weeks. So I was like, okay, so I've got 3 weeks to kind of figure this out. Kind of nice that I got 3 weeks to figure this out. So I went back and forth on 12. Was dead set on a 12C, then back to an R8, and then didn't get either. If you haven't been paying attention. So there's other things when it came up to it. I didn't have a whole lot of plans other than podcasts. It was podcasts, and I got my job. I can make this R8 happen. It all made sense. So much changed in those couple weeks leading up to the 4C actually going, which maybe that's why it all happened the way it did. You think about
Naturally.
Things happen the way they should. Like, while I was waiting for this guy to come pick up the car, so many things changed for us. Not that I'm not in a worse financial position. It was just that it became more of it. It was just a better decision. It became way more of a priority to go, you know what, instead of rolling this into a crazy car and let's go make this happen, let me just take some cash, buy something super cheap, have extra cash to work with, try to make some moves, do what we want to do with the podcast, with some of the business ideas we have. And then I should set myself up to afford an R8 or maybe even something better, much more comfortably in hopefully just like a few months.
Yep.
Like not a long time, but hopefully just a few months. So I got a Mini Cooper S for $10,000 cash.
It's just fire.
And put the rest in the bank to make my moves. And it's all black. And it's way more fun than I kind of anticipated, because I was fully expecting to just get like a high mileage Corolla.
Right.
Like 10 grand, that market is wild. There is nothing there these days for 10 grand.
No, I don't think people realize that either.
No, you're getting something with 150,000 miles. It's crazy. There's a ton of like 150,000 miles 3 series and stuff like that. That just sounds like a nightmare. 2008
being sold in Glendale, California.
3 series
You don't want to do.
But Corollas are even 10 grand. Like 150,000 mile Corolla is going to be 10 grand.
It's a 300,000 mile car.
Yeah. So I found this Mini Cooper S all black, and I was like, for 10 grand, this is probably the best car I've seen. I feel kind of goofy driving it. But then someone spotted me on the road. One of my friends around town sent a picture of me in the car, and I was like, I don't actually look as goofy as I pictured myself looking in this car. Like, it's not that silly. Also, I'm about to get the windows tinted black. It's going to be black all the way through. So it is what it is. Probably whenever I do get my next car, I'm not going to sell the Mini. Like I'll keep the Mini. That'll be the whip around car. That'll be the
camera car.
Yeah, the mobile podcast studio.
Yeah, literally.
All the rest. So we may clap that thing out. We're gonna chrome
bag it. Turbo.
Yeah, we got to chrome delete it. We'll throw some white wheels on it or something crazy.
I can't wait.
One day. I'm not going to act like this is tomorrow, because there's a reason I did $10,000 cash and saved the rest. I'm not going to go start throwing money at the Mini, but one day. So that's where I'm at. That's my situation. R8 still one day. But right now, I traded a 4C for a Mini. Goofy trade, but I couldn't keep driving that 4C to Orange County to record podcast. That's a bad drive. Yeah. I bought that car in COVID when all I did was go to Ralph's or Canyons. I'm either going to Ralph's to pick up some groceries or I'm going to the Canyons. That's like the only thing
Life has definitely fucking changed.
Yeah, it's changed a lot. So the car had to change too as a result. So that's where I'm at. Just wanted to get that out. So that's my update. No 720s for me. One day, we'll see. I'm definitely fiending for it.
Fiend. It's fucking coming too.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Anyway, so some of these topics, because crazy news been coming out.
Hit me with it.
The Lamborghini Huracan, the Temario.
Temario. Is that how you say it?
Luigi.
It's the Temario, no?
Something like that.
Because I think I remember someone said it translates, it's like from Latin, it's reckless or some bullshit like that.
It is the...
Or Spanish? It's gotta be Latin.
Yeah, Temario.
Temario?
The Temario.
It means reckless, no?
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure I heard that. I just don't remember if they said it was Spanish or...
Fearless. Word
Fearless?
Translates to fearless.
That's bullshit.
It
Fearless?
says right here.
Dude, reckless is way...
It probably all depends on, the translation.
Yeah, that's true.
These are different languages we're talking about. So, recently came out that they've what's it called? Confirmed the engine layout. So we're looking at a twin turbo V8 hybrid setup that revs to 10,000 RPMs. That's wild. 10,000 RPMs. What else revs to that? Not very much.
There's very limited.
A Singer and the Gordon Murray car LFA is 9,000.
It's only 9?
Yeah.
Really?
9.
That was more.
You know what's crazy? Because these turbo V8s are super muffled from the factory, and this is going to be super muffled, especially for today's European standards and California, all the standards. But when people uncork these cars at 10,000 RPMs, that flat plane crank V8,
it's going to sound stupid.
It's going to sound so stupid. It's going to sound so stupid. Imagine when Eric straight pipes one of those.
Like he puts a serpentine exhaust on that fucking thing.
It's going to be a joke.
It's going to be ridiculous. I'm actually very excited for it.
Yeah. I was bummed that, the V10 was going away. But if they throw 10,000 RPMs at me, they can put however, if it was V6, I wouldn't care. 10,000 RPMs.
Okay, no, that's too far. V6, I would still give a shit.
Well, if it's going to be 850 horsepower, 10,000 RPM V6,
I still wouldn't like it.
Still wouldn't like it. I'd be like, whatever.
The V6 is where I think the tune really changes enough where it don't matter how high it revs.
Mm-hmm.
The higher that it revs, the more rice it sounds in a V6. Because at that point, you're like talking GTR. Like GTR right. With another 3,000 RPMs.
But the R8 is going to sound, or that Lamborghini Uncorked is going to sound like a straight up F1 car.
I think so. I think they're going to do the tune properly and stuff like that. It's going to sound fucking unreal.
It's going to sound stupid.
It just goes to tell you too, like they're this whole hybrid setup thing. Like they're really pushing this whole hybrid setup thing. And I was looking in the setup on this car is not even that crazy of a hybrid setup. It's kind of like similar to like the E-Ray Corvette where like, it's not like the electric motors produce like an insane amount of additional horsepower. I think there's only like 120 horsepower additional, which comparative to a lot of other setups.
It's usually just to kind of torque fill the turbo lag.
That
typically
get out the line a little bit more efficiently, the whole nine.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's nothing crazy. So I'm excited to see the way that they incorporate it. I just can't wait to see the design of the car.
I know. Because the spy shots with the camo are
questionable.
Especially the front. The back looks like it's going to be pretty sick.
Questionable.
The front is questionable. If they give it these thin little headlights, that it kind of scares me.
You know what my biggest fear is?
What?
It's price point.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a $400,000 sticker probably.
That's the thing. Like
everything's just moving up.
So yeah, exactly. So like
Revuelto is like $600K now.
It's fucking like ridiculous. But like
this, so this is
like the problem is like, so like you have like, I mean, obviously every time a car comes out, like it does move in price because it market adjusts to what it normally would be. But like for a long time, you had cars like, okay, replacement comes in, this car usually gets priced right damn near the same, just depends. But now what's happening with a lot of these supercars is like super consistently happening is you get, for example, like let's take Lamborghini as a prime example. Now you have Gallardos.
Spit it out.
Gallardos, Huracans, okay, Aventadors.
Yeah.
Okay, and now you're going to start having Revueltos and Temerarios.
Temerarios.
I don't think you can say it without saying.
Vueltos Temerarios. What are they doing?
I don't know. They're fucking making shit.
Aventador, easy.
Yep. Huracan, whatever.
Huracan.
So now
Murcielago.
These Huracans are holding fucking
Diablo.
The Huracans are holding. I'm like,
Temerario.
Huracans are holding value so fucking well.
Yeah.
And even within the Huracan like bunch, the variations are holding so damn well. So you can't even go out and get a Huracan Evo, like the new modern Huracan. You can't even go out and get it for less than like mid 200s.
Mm-hmm.
So now, depending on where they price this damn thing, those cars are going to stay relative no matter what. So it's not like all of a sudden just because the replacement's out and that car's gone. Huracans, we have no idea what the price is going to do. It can sit there and keep hold. The fact that it's a V10 could make it go up a little bit because it's a whole different structuring of the motor. Like, I don't know what the fuck's going to happen.
Huracans are a safe bet.
Yes, they really
100%. Are. Yeah, because like you said, it's the last V10. The Temerario. It's probably going to be a better car. Let's be real.
It's going to be a better.
It's going to be a better car.
But like some people don't give a fuck
800
about
some horsepower. It's like this car is going to be stupid fast. 800 some horsepower, twin turbo, 10,000 RPM V8.
It's going to be quick.
This car is going to be stupid fast.
It's going to be quick.
So I almost wonder, like, it's probably going to be faster than the Revuelto.
No,
it's
impossible.
It might be. I don't know. It's going to be this car is going to be stupid fast. So, and we all know the Huracan platform is not the fastest platform out there.
Correct.
That's why everyone wants to supercharge it because it's fast. You haven't driven many supercars, you're gonna get in that car and punch it, and you're like, wow, this car's insane.
It is a 10-year-old platform though.
Yeah,
that's one of the things I kind of forgot. To be a buck with you,
yeah.
Like when they dropped this whole news, I forgot that literally the Huracan is a 14 design. Like think of every other major supercar brand, what they've done, obviously from 14 on. I mean, they made the Huracan improve, but like,
yeah. Lamborghini does this thing where they do their mid-cycle refreshes are heavy and they just keep the same name in like general shape. Think about like the 488 to the 458. Like, okay, they switched up the motor, but you could go 488 to the F8. Like pretty similar car at the end of the day.
From a aesthetics perspective.
Well, they kind of like they change things incrementally. So like the 458 and the 488 had like the exact same interior. They looked super similar. It looked like a refresh of the 458, but then they put in the twin turbo V8. They changed up the engine. So then the F8 updated the interior. Again, slightly tweaked the exterior. Still looks very similar.
Relatively similar.
But same idea, same vein. Not like the jump from like the 360 or the F430 to the 458. Or look at the 360 to the 430. Like those cars are very, very similar. Like that's more of a refresh than like a full redesign. And then the 458 was ground up new. And then you see these kind of incremental changes. Where the Huracan, we had, once you hit the Evo, a lot of things changed in the Huracan as far as quality and interior.
But that's all that really changes.
Sure.
Like the problem with the Huracan and where I think it's crazy because I just now realized this is the power band. Like you're talking about 2014, those cars were 580 and 610. Now they make one with that's 640.
Yeah.
Like that's all they did. And then they did interior refresh, exterior refresh.
I mean, like the 488 came out close to when the Huracan came out. 488 was a 15 model, I think. Or was it a 4? No, it was 15.
16.
It was a 16?
Yeah.
There's 15 458s?
Yes, there is.
Okay.
That's the last year of the 458.
Got it. I kind of thought it was.
So I think technically it might be out 15, but it's like a 16 release date because it's the way the car is.
Anyway.
But think about the fucking power difference on those cars. And then again, with the F8, like that's what I was trying to say is that Lamborghini with their performance has kind of been like with the Huracan, like they milked the shit out of that thing. Mm-hmm. They literally only added 40 horsepower from their top model in 2014 to their top model now.
Yeah. They could have supercharged it themselves.
100%.
If they
like
wanted to.
458 has 560. The 480 has 660. The F8 has damn near almost 800, I think. I don't know the quite numbers on the F8 because fuck that car. Who cares about that car? But Lamborghini has been so slow to move things. Think about McLaren, bro. McLaren spat out the fucking 720 in 2018. They were like, here's crack. Like, just go and take it and just have it. Yeah. Obviously, the first batch of crack really broke down a lot, and the 18 720s are questionable. Even the 19s are questionable. But by 2020, let me tell you, okay, my 720S has been one of the craziest reliable cars, hey, Harley, on planet. No problems.
You've driven it 4,000 miles in 2 months.
I pushed the shit out of that thing.
Yeah.
And for being a McLaren, cars had no issues.
Yeah.
I did an oil change myself
2
on
months.
that damn thing.
It's out of 2 months.
Okay. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That car has 14,000 miles.
Sure.
Isn't that what everyone says those cars should be going crazy?
I don't know. Maybe.
My car's been ridiculous. I've had a great McLaren ownership experience for the 2 months that I've had it. So
I think it'll continue to be great because, again, everyone that does have McLarens and has less issues say all you got to do is drive them. Drive the car.
that ain't no problem, baby girl. That ain't no problem.
He's going to drive the car.
That ain't
So
no
it's all good. But, man, this new Lambo, I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to hear it. I think it's going to be insane.
August release.
I'd be super surprised if we don't see it at Car Week when we're up there.
Oh, no, we're going to see it.
Can't wait to go to Car Week. It's going to be sick. But that car's crazy.
August.
Next new car. You want to hear that? You ready for this talk?
Hit me.
The Ferrari 12 Cilindri.
I'm not ready for this talk.
Bro, what is that car?
I have no fucking idea.
What is that car?
Ferrari took, or like, not took, but they released and announced that they were kind of really doing a different design change with the 296. Like, you can tell the 296 is really like not a one-off, but you can tell like, okay, this is a different style of Ferrari.
Yeah.
The way it's rounded, it's
It's really
sharp.
It's super retro inspired.
Yeah.
It looks a lot. It pulls a lot from their like old models.
It's not sharp.
Mm-hmm.
It's more rounded sharp. That makes sense.
Well, the 458 isn't sharp.
408's decently damn sharp. It's not terrible.
Sharp?
Sharper than the 296.
It's all.
No, but it's the way this is it's fucking flush and it's like a very fluent.
They look
type
so
of
good in
round.
person though.
They look stupid.
Yeah.
The 296s are like, I don't know, they're like too rounded. It's not like okay, the 458 has curves. Okay. 488 has curves. The 296 has rounds, is what I'm saying. Everything's just a little bit more rounded as a design. Looks almost like cartoonish, in my opinion.
Okay.
The cylindry is like the same exact thing. Like, it literally looks like a fucking cartoon.
I don't know what the cylindry is.
What is this one called?
12. It's 12 cylinder in Italian.
So how do I pronounce it?
Cilindri.
Ciliandry. The ciliandry, the imaging of it, it literally looks just way too cartoonish. And I think that's the kind of like this weird
Cilindri. The 12 cylindri.
it's the weird stance that Ferrari's taking to like on their cars.
Yeah, dude. I don't know what to think about this. It looks like it looks like an Aston Martin competitor, but then
The A12 replacement. There's no way that you just call that an Aston Martin replacement.
no,
Or
not
competitor.
replacement.
Sorry,
Competitor, like,
I know.
dude, the hood is so long and it's just like very simple, smooth design. There's not a whole lot to it. Like that's what like Aston Martin is known for. I'm just confused. Like,
I don't know.
it's like there's angles of it that look nice, it looks sleek, but like, dude, I don't know. I guess we'll just have to see it in
It's
person.
the direction that Ferrari's going with their designs. Like, I think you described it perfectly. Retro modern.
What it is they've never had this many models. You've got SF90, 296, F8, 12 Cylindri, Roma, Portofino. They still make the Portofino?
I'm not 100%. I think the Roma replaces that. I think.
Kurosangwe.
7.
Yeah.
If they make all those 7. Even fucking 5.
Seriously.
That's plenty for Ferrari.
Exactly. They've never made this many models. So
Lambo's got 3.
they're like, I feel like they're looking at, they're trying to diversify, right?
Bro, Lambo has 3. McLaren has 2.
Mm-hmm.
Like, bro, what? Why is Ferrari going so heavy on the model push?
I don't know.
Just realized that as well. It's a hell of a question.
Dude, so many different models. I don't know what the deal is behind it, but it's a weird design.
I don't understand it.
I'd call it pretty. I wouldn't call it ugly. I don't think it's ugly.
I think it's ugly.
But I just don't think it's...
I think it's dog shit, to be honest with you.
Hmm.
I think what it is, okay, Ferrari was onto something with the SF90 XX or whatever, that little like modified trim.
Yeah.
They had it dialed.
Absolutely
With
dialed.
this bullshit, they're
Absolutely
not dialed.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't know. I don't know. Ferrari is like, they can't decide if they want to go aggressive aero or they want to go like retro modern or what they want to do. What I don't understand, I know they'll never do it because the way that the car's set up and stuff like that is front mid engine. They should just slap that V12 in the fucking rear engine, mid engine fucking system and make some crazy shit.
That's the SF90.
But it's really not though.
V12 rear mounted.
but with the hybrid system and shit like that. Imagine that. I'm talking about that V12, like
Actually aspirated V12.
like that, and actually make that into a crazy thing. Like shit on the Aventador. Because I really think if Ferrari did that, they would shit on the Aventador.
Right.
Because the Aventador is the king of the sound.
Mm-hmm.
What's king of the sound right now?
The Aventador.
By far.
Yeah.
But Ferrari could compete. Ferrari, the 458 used to be the king of the sound.
Yeah.
Now the Aventador took its place all from the mid-teens. And Ferrari's like, we're not gonna.
The Mercy always sounded the Mercy SV.
It sounded nice too.
Yeah.
Sounded pretty.
I don't think anyone's arguing that the Mercy SV wasn't ridiculous.
So has Lambo always been better than Ferrari sound-wise?
The Lambo V12 has always been my favorite.
I think so for me as well.
It sounds so good. It sounds so good. The other thing was that what's it called? That hybrid Urus.
Yeah. The SE or whatever it's fucking called.
Gross.
It's a little aggressive, but I get what you're saying. I don't mind it.
They took the Urus, which was already.
I don't mind it.
Which already like I'm always slightly disappointed that it's not a little crazier than it is, because it could be. Like they could make it crazier than it is. The Urus Performantes look really good. They should all look like that. That should just be base model looking Urus to me.
The Performante. I agree.
This car looks like they dialed up the Toyota or the Honda.
That's a little much.
Like they took the Urus and then like grabbed the HRV dial and just cranked it up a couple points on the Urus, and they're like, all right,
we're on the
ship that.
Yeah, we're on
up three clicks on the CRV or HRV, send it. Like I'm looking at this car, it's just a blander version of the Urus, which I want the Urus to get crazier. It's a Lamborghini. I want it to get crazier.
They have to diversify the crowd.
I don't want us to dial it down.
It's a hybrid, man.
It hurts.
I might get one. We'll see.
The SE?
Yeah.
You like it like that?
It's going to be fast as shit. It's going to be the fastest Urus model. See what I mean?
Give me the perf. Give me that carbon hood. Give me that Alcantara interior.
Bro, I'm telling you, blue Cepheus, red interior SE. I'm chilling. I'm smoking everybody.
Superman's back.
We
already know he's like that. Do we have? What about follower questions? Did you want to get into those?
Let's do those. I'm down. I think that could be the cap. I'm down for that.
Yeah.
We actually got some good follower questions.
Yeah, we had a couple people post questions. Not as many as I would have liked. Come on, no. I'm trying to engage with the people.
I'm trying to involve you guys, man.
For real. You want to know obviously nothing from us. Why are we still even here? They don't even want to know anything.
I'm saying this is why. So now we're gonna force feed you guys.
We're just here. We're here yapping. King yappers. Should I change our bio to Clowns of Instagram?
That's everyone calls us. Might as well at this point.
Everyone listening already knows because you listen to this. The whole thing. Obviously, you're this deep into this episode.
Yeah.
You know, you're here to stay. I appreciate you. We love you.
Yes. Very much.
Yeah, it's so funny. Like the clips, what are we going to do? Post boring clips? Like it's Instagram.
Literally, I think somebody commented, what a clip to just like purposely drive and get engagement. Like, can you do better, please? And I think I commented, did you not engage with this? Or he talked about like, he's like, try doing something else for natural engagement. This is too scripted. And I was like, did you not naturally engage with this right now?
Yes. Unfortunately, man, I wish I could just post positive content clips about cars and call it a day, but no one will ever find us.
No, fuck that. I don't even want that. The world is not 100% positive. Okay, this is all reality of the way this shit is. Okay, so I'm tired of this whole crap. When we ask the guests, this is the thing that kills me the most. The guests get the same end questions. It's not our fault that everyone fucking picks the GT3 RS. No. It's not our fault. It's not like I go, hey bro, pick the GT3 RS.
He gets pissed off at us that we posted. I'm like, well, the clip did a mil last time, so why wouldn't I post it again with someone else?
So I'm saying, and then to show people that multiple people fucking pick the same thing.
Right. Everyone that's actually driving these cars picks that car.
We have been super evident and clear with our Porsche journey, like how we like the cars discovered. I've actually given the Turbo S a lot more credit recently because that car's winning me over slowly. Yeah. But when it comes to a guest's opinion, I can't pick their opinion for them, man.
No.
Everyone has their own opinion. And a lot of people, I would say damn near 70% have been GT3 RS.
Yeah, pretty much.
Maybe higher.
An easy 50. Probably, I'd say at least 60, 70. It's possible.
Yeah.
It may be like 70s.
Yeah.
We've probably asked that question now like 10 times, and it's probably been 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. My latest on Porsche. Look, they're great cars. I think they make a great car. I like how they look. I saw a matte black Turbo S on the highway today. Gorgeous.
Clean.
Great looking car. Stupid fast. Stupid comfortable. But it's a little boring for me at the price point, especially at the price point. That's the problem with Porsche. It's always price point. People have hyped up that brand so much that every model is more expensive than it should be. Every model at that price point, I can find something I'd rather have. That's boiled down to our problem with Porsche. Porsche. Yeah, every single price point. 130 for the base Carrera, 150, 160 for the Carrera S, 200 for the GTS, which a lot of people love the GTS. I've heard it's a great car, but $200,000. If that's my only sports car, I'm not getting a GTS. Wow. It just ain't happening.
Couldn't be me.
Then you're looking at 250 to 300 for a GT3 or a Turbo S.
Could not be me.
That's crazy. I'm taking the 720 over the Turbo S or the GT3 all day long. All day long.
You ready for this?
And I've driven both.
You have driven both.
So come at me.
You ready for some of these?
Yeah.
All right. There's only a couple. I think there's like 2 that are worth asking on this one. Maybe 3.
Ask us questions. Come on.
First one is Koenigsegg or Pagani?
Koenigsegg or Pagani? You want me to answer that?
Yeah, you can go first.
So, why even have this conversation? Because who cares? There was a point in my car journey where I was all about hypercars, and of course, when it's all unattainable, you're gonna like the best. Like, I was a huge Koenigsegg fan, and same with Pagani. But now that I'm to a point where I'm trying to actually afford these cars, I don't care about those cars nearly as much, because it's that's a future life. Like, maybe I hope I get there, but that's like a 10 year down the line. Like, all I really care about right now is what's coming up. So all I really care about are the Supercar Connection. But I'll answer the question anyway, because I do have an opinion. I would go with Koenigsegg, just because Pagani just to me feels like an art piece, which is cool. I'm seeing more pictures of the Utopia in different specs. That car is just near perfection. That's one of the most beautiful thing on wheels that's ever happened.
Exists.
It's insane. I want to see one in person so bad. But Koenigsegg's are kind of they are art pieces as well. You get close to a Koenigsegg, every little piece is so perfect. Every little bolt has their little ghost logo on it, and it looks like it's perfectly machined and polished. Like, no detail has been spared on the newer Koenigsegg's. They're gorgeous art pieces, and they're so the technology behind them is crazy. So, that Pagani, you're getting an AMG V12. It is what it is. They put it in there. They take a AMG V12, shove it into an art car that they designed, and ship it. Right? It's not going to be the fastest car in the world. It's not going to be the most insane car in the world. It's going to be a raw experience, and it's gorgeous. The Koenigsegg is going to be its own unique, crazy experience, and it's an art piece, and it's the doors. It's got the coolest doors ever. So after my rant, Koenigsegg for me. What about you?
Honestly, I'm kind of in the same boat as you. I wouldn't even pick these 2 if I had to pick a hypercar. But
I'd probably go with Bugatti.
I would go with Bugatti, yeah. But if I had to pick just between these 2, I'm actually probably going to pick Pagani. For the reason that you said that you wouldn't pick Pagani. The Pagani has always been, ever since seeing it as a little kid, it's always been such a ridiculous art piece. It took me a while to even imagine car as art. And then I saw that car, I was like, oh, fuck me. So that car, nostalgically wise, is ridiculous for me. But on the top of that, I just appreciate the art aspect of it. I would have that car just sit in my living room type shit. I would make a way to make it my centerpiece in my living room. I would pick Pagani.
The Zonda is so beautiful, dude. The original Pagani. Those cars are so sick.
They look like fighter jets.
What else we got?
Next one we got is, this one's not 100% car related, but is a pretty decent question.
Okay.
What do you think is the key factors, or what do you think are the key factors to building a successful podcast?
Key factors of building a successful podcast. You would make a clip for me, huh?
It's a good question.
We started Supercar Connection 9 months ago, and we've been able to kind of grow the Instagram, grow the socials, and have had a lot of great guests and have gotten to drive a lot of great cars and meet a lot of great people. And a lot of our guests have reached out to us. So we reach out to some guests, and sometimes that's us, but sometimes we have people literally reaching out to us wanting to come on, and we're like, yeah, let's do it.
That's right.
So that's kind of what we've been able to build. And like, again, not to toot our own horn, but I think at this point, if you engage in car content on social media, you've seen our face.
Yep. We
have followers in Dubai. Like sometimes I see followers pop up and I'm like, wow, they're following, like they just followed us. What in the world? So, I'm proud of us. I'm proud of what we've done and what we've built. So that's why I'm willing to kind of like, I don't like to like boast my accomplishments, whatever. But as you know, I edit everything, the episodes, the clips. I'm the one behind it. So I'm going to take a little pride in that.
Earn that shit, baby. Talk that shit.
Yeah.
Talk your shit.
So a podcast at the end of the day, like for it to be successful, it's all marketing. Like you have to get in front of faces, and it's a lot harder to get someone to listen to you talk for an hour. Still like our episodes range from on YouTube, 500 to 1,000 views now, probably. Yeah. Depending on the guest, our solo episodes, I don't know, 300-400.
Yep.
In the past. I don't know what this will be.
Yep.
So we've got like a decent base, especially for being around a couple months. But literally. Our Instagram, we are about to hit 25K. Yep. Our TikTok, we just hit 15K. And the TikTok has just now taken off.
Yep.
It's just consistency. One, we've been doing this now 9 months, and I have posted reel clips at least 3 times a week.
Yep.
Minimum. And then plus other content.
Yep.
So if you do that for 9 months, you're probably going to grow.
9 months of literally consistent work.
Yeah.
Like fucking every week. Like,
I put in so much work into this podcast.
So much fucking work.
So successful podcast, hours of work. I put in at least 10 hours a week on this podcast on top of my full-time job.
Easily.
Because I love this and I want this thing to be amazing. So
the biggest.
Work, consistency, step 1, obviously. Number 2 is strategy. Like I think I've gotten really good at making engaging clips, and it shows with how many of them take off and how many views we get on them. And I have a whole strategy for what makes a good clip. So I listen back to the episode. I listen the episode back after I edited it and mark down like points where there's good clips or engaging topics, and I know what to clip and how to clip it. Like I'll take a 3-minute clip and whittle it down to 30 seconds in the way that's going to make it the most engaging and the most interesting. So for you to get the whole context of something, you can't just watch this. Why people get so upset on Instagram. It's like, well, there's more to this clip. This was just to get your attention. But
go watch the damn episode.
Go watch the episode. But I have a like very specific formula of how to create viral clips. So one of these days I'm going to be a course pro, and I'm going to make a little mini course on this and probably sell it because this is my value. So I'm not just going to give it away for free.
Yep. Even
though I probably still will in little clippets, but I'm going to give like a more detailed breakdown how I do this coming soon if you were looking to start a podcast. I had another thought as far as clips, editing, viral clips, it's always the hooks. And, this is kind of a sellout point. It is what it is. Sometimes during the episode, you have to be thinking about, can this be a clip? Because
very much so.
You have to have a hook to the clip. Like there has to be some in the first 3 to 5 seconds, you have to say what the clip is going to be about to get someone to stop and watch it. So like our guest questions, that's why they're always perfect, because there's like all 3 of those questions are a hook in themselves. What's the most overrated car? Someone's going to go, oh, what's this guy think is the most overrated car? I'm ready to hear this answer. And then as soon as you say GT3 RS, it's to the comments. Wow, this guy doesn't know how to drive, and it's like, it's taking candy from a baby. I just know it's going to work.
Yep.
especially the overrated one, because there's always going to be people that are a fan of a car, and when you hate on it, they're going to comment.
Yep.
The other way around, you're just not going to get as much engagement. What's the most underrated car? Oh, I think this is an amazing car. You're not going to get people going, yeah, I agree. That's an amazing car. They don't care. They're just going to go, oh, cool. Maybe like it. Scroll.
Yeah, double tap roll.
So unfortunately, you have to go kind of negative on the clips because that's what gets people engaged. And then, my last point. You have to not care what people think.
That's the hardest part.
You have to not care. I hardly read any of our comments. I know you read a lot. You pay attention to them a lot more and engage. I don't really read them. Even when I do, I just don't. Like, people say some wild stuff about us. I just don't care anymore. Yeah. I literally don't care. It doesn't faze me. I've seen some wild stuff said about me. It's in one ear and out the other, because like I've done this long enough now, and I just know I don't care what they think. Like, it just is what it is. I had started this because I love cars. I'm doing what I love. It is what it is. I'm doing what I love. I'm driving sick cars. So
meeting sick people, going sick places, doing sick things.
Yes. And all the guests that we have on, people that actually matter, are like, I love what y'all are doing. Like, I love y'all's format. I love your podcast. Like, y'all's thing is really cool. It's like, cool. So the guy with 3 pictures and 8 followers on Instagram doesn't really matter. Or you, Ben Baller.
Bro.
Why is Ben Baller always hating in our comments? Dude, come on the show.
Yes. Ben Baller, you comment on another damn reel and don't respond to my damn response to you coming on the episode. I'm just blocking you from the damn account because I'm not doing you don't get to enjoy the content. And then when I try to hit you about it, not respond to me. Okay. That's a little disrespectful, but that's neither here nor there.
So you have to not care.
Yes.
And it's hard because I almost have to prep our guests sometimes about, like, the clips. A lot of them are social media personalities too, so they know the game and they don't care. But when we have someone that's not heavy on social media, it's like, hey, don't read the comments.
Nope.
Because no matter what you say, one time, here's a quick story for you. I'm sorry, this is a full rant. Do y'all really care about the behind the scenes of this podcast?
Hit it.
So I think last week I posted a clip with PJ, and it was like the first clip was kind of like a negative spark. It was going for the engagement. So I knew we had the GT3 RS overrated clip coming too.
In the back.
So I didn't want to back-to-back hating on the Huracan and then next day hating on the GT3 RS. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do like a more neutral clip today instead of that, to balance things out. So people are like, wow, these guys just throw car hate out there all day long.
Right.
So I'm trying to like balance things out, and I throw what I think is a very neutral clip. He's like, yeah, like the Ford GT is basically a half price LaFerrari. He's had them both. So I'm like, this is an interesting conversation, right?
Never heard this perspective.
No.
It's pretty cool.
So just trying to throwing some perspective out there for someone that's owned the cars, because not a lot of people get to hear perspectives from those people. And the amount of people that like got angry at that clip, I was blown away. I was like, wow, I did not intend for this to be I didn't intend such negative engagement on this clip. So sometimes you just don't know. And then there's things that I think are gonna just take off, and then they don't. And there's things that I think are not. I'm just doing them because we need some content, and then they take off. So, but
what a rant, Gavin.
There it is for you. I'm passionate about this.
I could tell.
What would you say?
So do I get to answer this one too? Well,
do you want to?
And of course. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to just hound on the same things that Gavin said.
Plus, that's my side of things.
Oh, 100%.
That's my specialty.
I think consistency is the by far number one thing. Like, I think you get to a point, like, even in the beginning, you're like, oh, this is really going to do, this is really going to be something.
Mm-hmm.
And then you keep pushing through that. And like, I can tell you, even for me, like, when we sat down to the first episode, I was like, what the fuck are we doing? I was like, you know what I mean? I was like, we're doing something that, and thing is, like, I think podcasting specifically is you have, it's so difficult to get into podcasting because you have everybody doing it, A. And then B, you have people that have platforms already. Whenever they want to, they just go, I'm going to do a podcast.
And a lot of people do.
And then they get a good amount of attention because they already are existing platform, and then they just start a podcast. So to go from 2 people that had little to no social media presence and to start and get into one of the most saturated social media, like, I guess, realms and thrive, like, that's just a testament to what we've been able to do. And I think what's difficult, and I think this is why a lot of podcasts fail, and again, a lot of people fail when it comes to this specific niche of things, consistency, A. The fact that it's two of us, it helps the consistency, because what he does and what I do, if one person had to do both those roles, it would be damn near impossible.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, like there's times where he leans on me, I lean on him. It just, the fact that it's the two of us starting this and the brand helps tremendously.
And at any time, me and you can sit down and talk about cars.
Yeah.
Just like we started.
That's it.
What would I do alone if I started? What would you do alone if you started? Sit down and just on a mic and be like, this is what's come out.
It's insane.
Let me talk about it and you listen to me like this is a radio talk show.
You need it.
Yeah, it's a conversation. That's like people listen to podcasts most of the time, I feel like, because it's a conversation.
Yes, that's the whole point of everything. People want to be involved in a conversation with people that they normally could not have conversations with. Then I think the last part, and this is one of the more I guess just depending on who you are and the way things go, is like the ability to have a positive effect within a network, if that makes sense. So like and then I guess mainly you could just count it as just networking in general, but like in podcasting, you're going to need a network to build guest bases off of. You can have a social media presence and reach out to people like we have before, but having a network of actual people that know you in person and then them vouching for you and creating other guests is a huge thing. Mm-hmm. And on top of that, and I test this in the beginning of the episode, and this goes into that directly. Not everybody can get into podcasting because you guys are not all as interesting as you may think you are. And then B, on top of that, not a lot of people.
That's what I was worried about in the beginning.
This is a hidden skill set, I'm telling you. And Gavin and I both have this, and not a lot of people have this, and you can't teach this.
Toot that horn, baby.
I'm gonna toot the hell out of it, man. I love us, and I love what we're doing. So I'm gonna toot the shit out of this thing. The ability to have a conversation with somebody is a lost art in today's day and age. You have a lot of people vlogging and doing a lot of stuff themselves, but to really understand and have somebody that knows how to have a conversation with a stranger, that is the key. Sales tactics, a lot of people big on that thing, like how to, like the art of persuasion or the art of conversation, this and stuff like that, it all ties in together. But to have two people go into a situation without meeting somebody and to allow them to sit down in their own environment, come in with a mobile setup, to let them sit down and get not only so comfortable they'll tell you everything they want to tell you, but to have a natural, ongoing, no pause conversation for an hour and 15 minutes, that's one of the most difficult things to do. And I would attest to anybody else trying to do that, to do it one time and just to see, while not only this, 9 months in, okay, you're still learning on how to be in front of a camera, how to, exactly what you're saying, okay? Then on top of that, meeting different guests. And then on top of that, just because, and this is nothing to say that you and I are like this, but you have to consider this. It's not like we're having Sally from the block come on the podcast. You know what I mean? We're having big name people with high financial status come on the podcast. So even depicting those people, you're dealing with a person that you would not normally meet out in the wild. And on top of that, getting to have them get comfortable with you, and they don't even know the two of us based on just the fact that we like supercars. Mm-hmm. All those things go into making this thing a success. And without the entire puzzle, it wouldn't be what it is. Sure, if Gavin could make amazing clips, it would be a fantastic Instagram page and we'd do everything. With my networking skills and the way that we're able to conversate with things, it would be another thing, but I would lack the social media side. The reason that it's so successful is Gavin and I are a perfect team, and we're able to make a perfect product that people respect and enjoy, and that it's going to grow to the highest of hopes.
Right.
That's my side.
I gotta say, it always makes me feel good when, and we'll end on this. It always makes me feel good when I look at some of these people with platforms, with podcasts, because there's a lot of them out there. A lot of automotive creators with big followings, big YouTube pages, big social media followings, have a podcast, and I'll see like a clip of theirs come up, and then I go to their page and I look at the views on their reels, and I'm crushing them. I'm gonna be honest. And I'm absolutely crushing.
They'll have M's or high 100K followers on their normal platforms.
Yeah.
But then their actual engagement and their viewership and stuff like that for things that they would think, oh, people will like this.
Yeah.
Doesn't hit.
Yeah. Maybe they're scared to piss people off. I don't know what it is, but
who knows?
That's what does it.
Yep. End of the day, like you said, don't be afraid what other people think. Be consistent at something and give it your all.
Yes. And hopefully we talked about cars enough this episode for this to still be Supercar Connection.
Yes. Yes.
And I hope you enjoyed all of it. Yeah. If you didn't, hey, that's your fault, because we asked you to post questions. For real. And we got 3.
Yep.
And one of them being Joe's.
Yep. 100%. So there you go. Inside job. But yeah, that's been a great episode. enjoying Gavin and I back in our just natural element, stuff like that. Guest list is going to get pretty crazy here soon. So I'm looking forward to all the episodes that are going to come. And then I hope everyone enjoyed the Miami content while it's out.
Yeah. So thanks for listening.
Sounds good.
We're out.